Good afternoon. Two guys catching up on football. I'm Otis,
And I'm Jerry.
and thank you guys for joining us for another week. Um, so we have some stuff to catch up on, buddy.
Woo!
I
Man, what a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, college football, professional football, and for those who have never joined us before, I'm a 49ers fan, so I got so much crap to say about
Uh,
them. And Jerry is a Browns fan, and he has a lot of
I
crap.
got a lot of crap on them too. Yeah.
So it's but the first thing I want to talk about though is in college football. Um, USC wound up, winning the game, but it was like, yeesh. I mean, it was
Well,
they should not have won actually.
and what you're making me think? What were they to start the season? Weren't they at number 6?
No, they were in the top four, I think.
Woo!
Yeah, they
Man.
were they were in the they were in
Yeah,
the
and
top four.
Cal of the Cal Bears are pushing them to the brink. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
And the only reason they won is Cal didn't convert the 2-point play. That's the only reason, and I loved Cal for going for
yeah,
it. Because I mean, what difference did it make to him? None.
right.
So I love Cal for going for it, and it's just too bad. It's just too bad they didn't make it. Because right now, USC is Oklahoma West. Um,
Yeah, Lincoln Riley's
yeah,
just moved to the program west, basically.
yeah. Just great for the most part. Great offense, no defense
No.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they had a somewhat decent defense, they'd be undefeated right now because nobody really. I think one team really kind of held their offense in check, but I forgot who it was. But most teams can't do anything with that offense, and
Right.
because they're going to average at least 30 points a game. If they had a defense that could hold their opponents to 20 or less, they'd be unbeaten, and they'd really have a legitimate chance
Yeah,
for
they
the
would be in the
national
top
title.
4. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but as it is though, if they meet Washington, I think it's Washington that they would meet for the Pac-12 championship. Washington or Utah.
Yeah.
Um, if they win that, there's still a possibility they they could get in.
Now, where's Oregon fit in this, though?
Oregon
Are
is
they same as Washington? Same division?
that I'm not sure. Oregon,
Because
Washington.
Oregon laid it down on Utah in Utah. So
Yes, they
yeah,
did, and that was quite a
yeah.
feet. And
And
our
nobody does that.
our favorite
Yeah,
octogenarian, a college octogenarian,
yeah,
Bo Nix,
yeah.
who I swear he has grandchildren.
Yeah,
Um,
soon to be Grandpa Bo Nix.
they are Washington is 5, and Oregon is 6, and then
Wow.
Texas is 7 right now. Alabama is 8th, and
Wow.
the first college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, they come out tomorrow. And I would not be surprised. This is our favorite Alabama conspiracy theory. I would not be surprised if Alabama is number 5, even though Texas beat them and they should not be in front of Texas. But I would not be,
Probably. Yeah.
and I want to say Texas is the only ranked team that Alabama's played so far, I think.
Yeah, they're probably itching to get Florida State out of there somehow. So you'll
Yeah,
have Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, and probably Texas would be my bet, maybe, of who they
and you
want in
know,
there.
with the problems that Michigan and Harbaugh have had,
Oh, that's right
if they
too.
lose to Ohio State, it would give the playoff committee a reason to leave Michigan out of the top
Oh,
four.
sure. Yeah, true.
Because otherwise, if not for the problems, if Michigan lost to them in a close game, they'd stay in the top four.
Right.
Because I mean, Michigan's two, Ohio State's three. You shouldn't drop very far if you lose to the third-ranked team and it's a close game. You lose by 1 or 3 points.
Right.
If you get blown out, that's different. But if you lose by just a couple of points and the game was a good game, then you shouldn't drop outside of the top four. But
Yeah.
at the very worst, they
Well,
should go no farther than five, depending on if Florida State and Washington keeps winning. But each of them are going to lay an egg
probably at some point.
before they get to the conference championship.
Yeah, probably.
And that's going to give Alabama
Oh, yeah.
And Texas is going to lay an egg too, and that's going to and so is Oregon. So the four teams that are in front of Alabama to keep them out of the top four,
Yeah.
they have a propensity for laying an egg against
Yeah.
someone that they have absolutely no reason losing to. And I don't know. I mean, they're 18, 19, 20-year olds. So you can't really depend on them from week to
Yeah.
week. You can't depend on them from day to day.
Well, yeah.
Or I don't know if that's it or if it's coaching.
And don't forget, Nick Saban is the king of lobbying. Yeah, wasn't he on Sunday Night Football last year or Monday night? Somewhere that he should not have been.
No.
And he was there on national television saying, pleading his case for why the Crimson Tide needed to be in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
don't put anything past Saban of what he's going to do to get that team in there. So
But after this year, when they go to 12 teams, then
oh yeah,
he'll be in.
oh
It
yeah, you
won't
can
really
pencil
matter.
them in. Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
be in no matter what.
Because right now the top 12 teams is Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, Penn State, Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Now, number 13 is LSU, so they would complain about the fact they got left out of it.
yeah. Well,
But,
now, LSU does play Bama this weekend, so
oh, do they? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
there we. That's Alabama's last test. So we'll
Okay.
see what happens. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Are they playing
Uh,
in at LSU or at Alabama?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So that'll be good if they can if Alabama comes through that, then they've got a shot. But those 12 teams that I mentioned, those are 12 really good teams to have
Yeah.
in a playoff.
It's at Alabama, so
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they'll beat them. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. Um, so if they did it the way I think they should, Georgia and Michigan would get the first two byes.
Oh yeah.
And then Ohio State would play Notre Dame, and they would go 3 against 12, and
Oh yeah,
they
sure.
play 4-11, they go that way. If they did it that way, and then you'd have some really really good, because they're going to use the bowl games for the
Yeah.
playoffs. So
Yeah.
you'd have bowl games that people would want to watch.
Oh yeah, that'll make it much more interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that would just be
Yep.
fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's something they should have done a few years ago,
Absolutely. Yep.
but now they're realizing the amount of money they can make on it.
Absolutely.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Until they were able to figure out how they could get that part of that money, they weren't doing it.
Yeah.
Now they figured it out. Now they go,
Now they're all
yeah,
in.
you know what, people, it won't be a bad idea. The TV contracts have said, hey, if you do a playoff, we're talking $2-3 billion
Oh yeah,
to broadcast the playoffs. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, you know
that's
what?
big time. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've been thinking about doing this for some time
Yeah.
now.
There you
I
go.
think it's time we do it. Nothing,
It'll be
nothing,
fun. Yeah.
nothing speaks louder than cash. That is for dang
Absolutely.
sure.
Money talk. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, here's the time that I gotta talk about him. I am so, well, I am still emotionally uninvolved with the 49ers, but I was happy they were playing well.
Yeah.
However, when I looked at the schedule before the season, I honestly did not see them going 5-0 to start.
Yeah.
It was nice to see them go 5-0, and it was really nice to see them beat the Cowboys, but they're kind of about where I actually thought they were going to be. And I looked at their schedule over the last 9 games. They got Jacksonville next, and they're probably going to lose that one. They've got Seattle twice.
Yeah. Those are tough games.
They've got the Ravens.
Tough
And
game.
so the only games that I think that they can win over the last 9, they've got Arizona twice.
Yeah.
They've got Tampa Bay. That one can be won.
Yep.
And they've got the Rams. And,
Yep.
and and those are the 4 games that I felt like they can win those games. If
Oh
they
yeah.
if they're able to somehow win 1 or 2 of the other 5, then they'll be fine. They'll be in the playoffs. I think 9-8 is gonna be what they can do.
Wow. I would have never thought them that low at the start of the year. They got to fix the defense. The defense has problems. The O line, I think, has a little bit of a problem as well. Well, of course, with Williams out. So
Yeah, and it is surprising that one offensive lineman can make that much of a difference, but it
and,
does
yeah,
because the other guys have to compensate for the person that's filling in for him.
we're kind of finally getting. We're seeing Purdy also playing from behind, which was we haven't seen him all that much doing that.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's a little more different pressure when you're playing from behind 14 points instead of ahead by 20. So,
yeah,
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 right. It's a little bit of a different scenario.
yeah, and that's also part of that thing I told you about. Since Shanahan has become head coach, he is 0-30 when they're 8 or more
Uh,
points behind.
Unbelievable.
They've never come back.
And
So
I think you're right too. Is he might still be running the same offense as if Debo is in there. Debo's not in there. It's not as effective with these other guys running it.
and
Just
he's
not.
and he just will not adjust. He will not adjust
Yeah.
to what the defense is doing in game, and he
Yeah.
will not change his strategy. At
Yeah.
one point yesterday, he ran. They're down by 2 touchdowns, and he ran McCaffrey on an off tackle play. And I'm going, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
McCaffrey can still touch the ball, but get him coming out of a choice route out of the backfield or a wheel route, or get him something where he can touch the ball in space, and he just won't do it. Like
I,
I said, I refuse to get emotionally involved in them, and I will not do it. I will be happy.
I was absolutely stunned. The Niners' leading rusher was Brock Purdy yesterday. Are you kidding? He
Yeah,
just barely got in the game because of a concussion protocol.
yeah,
He's your
yeah.
leading rusher? What is going on?
And on
I
one
was
play,
stunned by that.
he banged his head on the turf.
Well,
So
that could maybe.
it was kind of hmm.
I'm telling you, they need to be careful. He's a hit away from being I call it Tua of 2023.
Yeah,
Is he's going to get knocked out?
yeah,
Literally, they need to be
yeah.
careful with him. Yeah.
He is. Yeah. So, but we got to talk about your Browns. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, they their problem is that they do not have a quarterback. I'm not going to jump too much. Everybody wants to fire Stefanski. I didn't see that so much in the game. It was a fluky play. The throw went off the guy's helmet. I don't see how you blame that on Stefanski.
Right.
They have a big problem. They've got a $230 million quarterback who's guaranteed for 4 more years, and the guy's not playing. And when he does play, he can't play.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with that. It's a mess. Watson has to step it up, or they're really going to have a problem. Or they're going to have to hit on their draft pick or something and start playing, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and just play him. I don't know what they're going to do. Their quarterback, the Arizona Cardinals, I saw today, they're benching Dobbs and are going to play, I think, Tooney or Kyler Murray. The Cardinals quarterback situation might be actually less complicated than the Browns. That's
It
quite a
might
bit.
be. Yeah, it might be, which is too bad because we had Josh Dobbs for MVP, but
Yeah, he
I,
kind of slipped. Yeah.
I knew at some point they were going to have to make a change because while he played well, it just didn't translate to wins, and they gotta do something, you
I
know.
saw, I think, through 3 quarters yesterday, he had 61 yards
Yeah,
passing.
yeah.
That ain't going to get it done. So,
No,
yeah,
they got to do something. They have
yeah,
to do
yeah.
something with him, and so I don't know. Oh, we have to give love. We got to give love to our favorite defensive back, Jalen Ramsey.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
He got a pick yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's against Mac, though. So, all right,
Well,
Mac just.
what he did was they had him in a zone defense, and Jones thought he was going to follow the receiver down the field, and he saw the secondary receiver coming up into the space, and he jumped the route, which he's good at. I mean,
Yeah.
he still knows football, and he knows his game, and he knows how to pick up on what the receivers and what the offense is doing as
Yeah.
far as the receivers go. He just cannot lock down the number one receiver anymore.
No, he's got no speed
I mean,
anymore. Yeah.
he can't even lock down the tight ends
Yeah.
anymore. And that's really the only thing with him. He just doesn't have that lockdown ability. But when he made when he made the pick, I was like, yeah, baby, all right, way to go. We got to give you love on the next show. Jalen, we've been picking on you, and we've been
Yeah, we'll
saying
give him a break on that.
we've been saying you're a touchdown giving machine, but this is great. I'm happy to see it, and yeah. So coming off the injury, I mean, you could see it on the replay. He was laying in wait on that pass, and he's
Oh,
watching Mac Jones. He's like,
oh, yeah.
if you cock your arm back, I'm going to get this ball, and he had enough speed for that. So that was really good. So we got to give credit where
Yep.
credit is due, and he earned that.
One of the names I liked yesterday was Tyrod Taylor went down.
Yeah.
So the Giants had to go with Tommy DeVito. The
Uh,
New York Giants had Tommy D at quarterback. You can't have a better named quarterback for a New York team than Tommy DeVito. And he
yep.
almost pulled it off, except for the Jets. The Jets came back and won. So
Yeah. Well, and
yeah.
then Brian Dable called three of the weirdest plays in overtime I have ever seen. Three screens. It got to the point where the Jets were already sitting on Saquon Barkley
Yeah, they did.
before he even threw the pass.
Well,
And
they
it's
didn't. They put zero trust in DeVito. You gotta
yeah,
trust DeVito. You
Well,
know?
because I mean, you're in overtime, and
Yeah.
you're not going anywhere.
No.
So why not?
I
Why
don't
not?
know. I don't understand that either. A team like that is let the guy throw the ball, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It was all in all. They went to overtime. It was really a bad game, but it was raining a lot, and I think that kind of led to
yeah,
the
that's
fact.
true too. Yeah,
I think that kind of led to the fact that it was a horribly played game.
you're right.
Um, I'm happy to see the Jets win. I'm unhappy to see Aaron Rodgers on the field throwing passes before the game.
I
Let
don't. For some reason, I guess he's going to come back.
he
I'm a little
can't
stunned by that, but
he can't just let it be about the team. It has
yeah.
to be about him.
Oh,
And
sure it is. Yeah.
yeah, it has to be about him.
Yep.
Um, after 7 games, I never thought the Jets would be 4-3 once he went
Yep.
down 4 plays into the game.
Yep.
And to be honest, I think if he were back at quarterback, and I think they'd still be 4-3, because
Probably.
he can't get out of the way of a pass
Yeah.
rush.
Yeah, and they have a pretty tough schedule too. So
Yeah, yeah, they have a tough schedule. They got a weak offensive line. He's not as nimble as he once was.
no, and he's going to come back next year and play at what? How old will he be next year? 40,
41, I think.
and he's going to be less nimble. So we'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think after 7 games, they probably would still be at 4-3, maybe at 5-2, but I no better than 5-2 because
yeah. I saw,
he can't get
and
out of
I
the way.
speaking of the Jets, now I see a lot of people saying, "Boy, they miss Sala and Demeco, right? The Texans head coach." Because now the Niners are stuck with Steve Wilkes. So I don't know if I'm not so sure it's all Steve Wilkes' fault.
Well,
You know,
I was thinking about that today. It depends on how much of a concerted effort he's putting into it. Because is he still upset that he didn't get that Carolina head coaching job, and he had to take this job because he wanted to work?
right?
Is he giving it the concentration needed? And if he were to go out and keep the 49er defense one of the top 5 defenses in the league, chances are really good he would get another opportunity to be a head coach.
Probably.
So um, I don't think he's tanking it. But, however, the 49ers defense is pretty much the same as it was last year. And the only difference is the defensive coordinator. That probably, I mean, these guys can't be switched in and out.
Yeah. I
You
think
know,
they lost. Who was it the other Ward? Not Chavarius. Uh,
oh yeah, I
was
know
it Jimmy?
Jimmy Ward.
But well, I definitely the secondary is weaker than last year, no
Right.
question.
Jimmy Ward went
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
Texans.
Tayshawn Gibson Jr. is not a young kid anymore. So,
And I didn't realize he had been in the league that long, but he
oh
has.
yeah, he used to be on the Browns. Even I remember, and that
Yeah,
seems like 10 years ago. So,
yeah. Because I think I saw a thing. He's like 31 or 32, so
yeah,
he's at least 10 years in the league.
yeah.
So
That's I didn't even necessarily understand. So the hot rumor was Niners are looking to trade for an edge rusher. And that's the same with the Browns. The Browns rumor is an edge rusher. Why do the Niners need an edge rusher? That's not the weakness.
yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, they need somebody in the secondary. The Browns are the same. They don't need an edge rusher. They need
Yeah.
a quarterback.
They the 49ers need to be able to guard somebody for 4 seconds
Yeah.
because the defensive line is not getting there as
No,
quickly
they're
as it
not.
once did.
No.
And
No.
so they got to be able to guard somebody for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they got to guard them for 4 seconds. But
Yeah.
that's not gonna an edge rusher. Well, an edge rusher for the 49ers might help because then the guys don't have to guard for quite as long.
True.
The flaws in the defensive backfield will get hidden.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens coming off this bye week. The
Right.
49ers are usually pretty good coming off a bye week. So
I did see Shanahan said we don't need. He said we have the pieces. We
yeah,
just need to get the pieces working correctly, kind of.
and that means they got to coach better.
Yeah, true.
That's they got to
That's
coach
true
better.
too.
Yeah, yeah. So all right, buddy. Well,
Yeah.
thanks
Well,
again for the week. Yeah, it's gone by
week
really quick.
8. Yeah.
Huh?
Week 8's in the books. Yeah.
Yep, week 8 is in the books. So here we go. We're gonna have our little traveling music,
Stayed on out.
and this is for the older people who are watching. From Jackie Gleason.
Oh.
A little traveling music, please. Wait a minute. Where is it? There it is. All right, thank you. This is Two Guys Catching Up on Football. Thank you very much. See you next week.
See you next week.
Later.